Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Well, it's another one of these opportunities we have to talk about what you can find at yard sales and garage sales and in and about the neighborhood where you are, and well, what some of that may or may not be and of interest to you. Well, recently, this past weekend, I had the opportunity to go and explore some of the neighborhood yard sales, and I was surprised at what I was able to find, and I thought I would share that with you as part of this video. Now, if you like these kinds of things, I want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel. If you do subscribe to my channel, please use that notification button. The notification button is going to help you to understand a little bit more about fishing reels, about the industry, the manufacturers, how the reels are used, and more importantly, and the subject of most of my videos, how to take these reels apart, how to service them, how to keep them in good working order so that they don't fail you when it's time to take them on a fishing trip. So I found 3 yard sales, and what you'll see here is the result of just kind of negotiating with the 3. I paid less than $50 for all of these as part of the day's venture. Didn't spend a lot of time. I think probably about an hour and a half scouring the neighborhoods. Couple of them I was notified from on Facebook Marketplace, said that there was yard sales in the neighborhood, and some of them in the local community news, and some of them, well, I just passed as a sign on a pole telling us that well, today was going to be one of those days. So I gathered myself together on a Saturday morning. Took it about an hour or so, and this is what I found. So we found 5 fishing rods, about a half a dozen reels, and let's take you through what I found. So the first location, it was actually about fishing reels, and I found a couple of really interesting ones. I think that they're always fun. There's a certain period of time, right? And a lot of the reels that you find, particularly at a yard sale, kind of tells you about the age of the fellow that was using them, or gal, about a little bit about the type of fishing they did. You're not going to find an eclectic mix of stuff like you would at a flea market or something. That's rather rare. But what you do find is usually a subset of the reels that a fellow was working on or using, and well, where they were using them. So clearly from the first 3 reels that I found, the fellow, and I say fellow because I was talking to him, the fellow was fishing salt water, and that's appropriate here in the mid-Atlantic or up in New Jersey. And well, he had them spooled up. He liked to do surf fishing. He liked to surf cast for striped bass in the spring and in the fall, and bluefish when they had their traditional late summer run. So the first one I found is a Daiwa AG 7000X. It's one of the bigger ones. The AG is Apollo, and these were pretty well known. It was a graphite reel, one of the first graphite reels introduced. And how do you know that? You can always tell by the size of the case. The early graphite reels, well, they were overbuilt from we don't know how strong this stuff is going to be, and so you had a very wide case there. I think this may only be a 1-ball bearing reel. I'm not quite sure. There is a grind going on in this one. I thought it would make an interesting project to see if we can restore this one, or at least understand what that grind is. So this was an Apollo AG 7000X from Daiwa, graphite bodied reel. Nice reel overall, but again, it's got a little bit of a grind in it. It may be that it's jammed up main gears, or it may be something more that can't be repaired, like a very worn down main gear. Well, one thing's for certain, it has old line on it. That old line is just kind of spooling up everywhere, and I'll try not to get stuck with that. Well, here's another one that I found. Same fella, and this was a Silster CT60 1-ball bearing reel. So again, kind of in that theme. This one works okay. I think it probably works as good as it did back in the day. It's not quite as smooth as you would like it to be, but it's fully functional. It's clean, and it's got fishing left in it. So what do I do with reels like this? Generally what I like to do is restore these, find a kid on the dock who is interested in learning more about fishing or using these things as an experience, and well, kind of pass them along to him to get him going, he or she, get them going to see if they really enjoy fishing. A little tight on startup on this one. Who was Sulster? Sulster was actually a group of distributors in Europe, although they did have a U.S. presence. The U.S. presence was in South Carolina, and later on they teamed up with Pinnacle, so you'll find Sulster and you'll find Pinnacle, and they were down in South Carolina. I believe it was Columbia, South Carolina was their headquarters. Most of the reels were made somewhere else. This one was made in Korea, but they were distributed, and well, a lot of people have had a lot of good results from Sulster and continue to fish them today. This one certainly can continue to go fishing today. Well, same theme. I would say that the fellow was very active in fishing in the 1980s and 90s. Maybe that was even the last time he had actually purchased a reel. And this one is a Shimano. This one's got a lot of wear and tear on it, but that's okay. It's a Shimano. It's the, I think it's the 500, yeah, the 500S. It's a bigger reel for Shimano. It's the Graphite series. It runs, look at the wobble in it. That usually means that you've got a problem with your bail, and you do. There's something clearly going on here. I'm thinking maybe at one point in time this bail wire was replaced, because it certainly shouldn't sit like that. You have an extended bail shield here. I would say it would be a single wire that would go through a hole there rather than the screw. But you know what? Again, it's working. And well, you know, sometimes if you like the reel, you go to extremes to keep it running. This one looks like it somehow had the bail wire replaced, wrong bail wire. That's all right. You can go catch fish. That's all that really matters there. And interestingly enough. Well, the next stop on that was a completely different stop. It was a stop where somebody was featuring freshwater fishing reels and equipment. And I think the most curious one that I found was actually a rod that did not have a reel on it. And this is an old one. This is actually cork handle that was really cork, and a bamboo blank. Wow. The rod was a two-piece rod. Let's see if I can get the ferrule out on this. I'm not having any luck at the moment, but it's a two-piece rod. I was looking for the manufacturer and I couldn't find it, but it does have metal eyelets, metal ferrules, and again the bamboo tapered piece. So this one is missing the tip top. That's easy enough to restore, but it's a very interesting reel. I'd like to find out some more about the manufacturer. First time I've actually seen that that bamboo on a spinning pole. I've seen it, of course, on the fly reels and rods, but not on a spinning reel. So we'll see if we can learn a little bit more there. Then we have Every Kid's Combo, but the rods are nice too. These are Shakespeare Firebirds. These are bait casting reels. They're the closed-faced variety. They work. They need to be cleaned up and untangled, but you know, sometimes that's where you get the big deals from. I think these were like $5 a piece, maybe. They weren't very much. Here's a second Firebird without the reel. That's okay, I got plenty of them. You generally get an indication of how long they were fished if they've left the store cleat on there and never removed that, but somehow they managed to remove the reel. The third one is the Firebird as well. I'm going to have to clip some of this because it really did get tangled up here, but this is the actual Shakespeare Firebird reel. Again, it works. Nothing wrong with that. This is on the blue variety, so I don't know if they were thinking boys blue and gals magenta or something here, but I wound up with 3 Firebird rods and 2 reels. And I think, again, I don't think they made $5 each, maybe $4. And then there was one here. I don't like these, but it came along. It was in the same garage sale, and sometimes you just say, you know what, maybe I can use it for a video and then pass it along to somebody. This is a Quantum fast cast or snapshot reel on a Daiwa rod, 6.5 foot rod. The rod is very nice. Again, it is also missing the tip top. So I don't know what these folks were doing with this, but again, those are easy enough to replace. Those of you that need a tip top, go to Amazon. You can buy a variety pack of tip tops for probably 10 bucks. This one works. I tested it out. These have the single stop overrides on the one side, and it has the multi-engage on the other. That's one of the things that's unusual. I know there's viewers out there that hate the snapshot reels because of the single setting, where it will only set back to the cast position here. But on this reel, you can actually set it where it is a multi-stop as well. And if I fish this reel at all, it'll be on that multi-stop. I'm one of these people who does not like the single stop on the anti-reverse, because after you cast it, sometimes that's got to travel a whole 360 degrees back, and setting the hook at that point could be difficult at the least. So that may become a video reel, I'm not quite sure, but again, these are all targeted to get out there and be given to others to go take the opportunity to fish and learn from that. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my little set of bargains. Like as I mentioned, I don't think I paid $50 for everything on the table here, probably less, but regardless, they have some purpose to them. They'll all be given a second chance, and I can't wait to see the expressions on the kids who I find deserving of these. You know, there's a camp down the road too. I may just drop these off at a camp. There's a little pond there. I'm sure they're always looking for equipment. So regardless, we'll get these tuned up and out there and fishing again. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that. If you did, please like the video. Please subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, and I cover an awful lot of bases as I do these, and I encourage you to continue to watch, to leave the comments, and help me make the channel better. Before I leave, I do want to thank our first responders, our police, fire, safety, rescue, everybody that's involved in keeping us out of harm's way. And I want to thank you for watching, for your involvement in the channel, for your suggestions, your creativity, and your comments. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, wishing everybody a great day.